Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So we're gonna have to deal with the sun coming in a little bit, which actually it's just kind of nice to even have the sun shining because that doesn't happen very often. But I know some of you know I've been gone for a bit because my dad was sick for a while and I was helping take care of him. And then a week ago he ended up in a hospice home, which was a really great place. I have nothing but good things to say about the people that were taking care of him. It was in a country setting, and with him being a farmer, that was a good place for him to be. But the same day that he went in was the same day that we found out that he had his fourth cancer, and he was too weak, nor did he have any desire to do treatment yet again. So he went into the hospice home, and he passed away 2 days ago. So of course, I'm going to miss him. He's my dad. But I watched him suffer so much over the past month that my mom and I both were praying for God to take him the night that he died. It was about 7 o'clock, but we just didn't want him to have to suffer through the whole night the way things were going. So we were grateful that God answered that prayer and went ahead and took him. So I haven't been at my craft table in quite a while. And I haven't, done any videos for the same reason. I think I got in a couple purchase videos or something. But while I was there at the home, at first I didn't take anything to craft because I really didn't have anything ready. But then I had remembered, I can't remember who it was that was doing it. It might have been Shabby Dabby Doodah, might have been somebody else. But anyway, they had showed how to do the page ruffles just with a slow stitch, and or slow stitch, whatever, just hand stitch. And they're really shabby looking and rustic, and that's fine because actually I'm probably going to add something to them anyway. But it gave me something to, to keep my hands busy while I was there, because I was there all day, every day, with my mom. And because of my job and working with kids with special needs and wheelchairs and positioning, and, we've had students that were in a bed, at school, there was a lot of stuff that I could do for my dad. So a lot of his care I actually did myself. So I was there every day, helping take care of him. But in between taking care of him, there was a lot of time for me to do stuff. So the last couple days, I was working on doing the ruffles for journal pages. I took a lot of fabric, but I started with my purple fabrics that Denise from Wonderbar Crafts had gifted to me for my birthday last year, or the year before. Anyway, so I did those. And then before I worked on these, I had taken this ABCs of Nature book, and I just grabbed a book that I knew I was going to take apart. And I know, eventually spring will come and I will need spring pictures. So I took apart a few pages. And again, I apologize for the sunlight. It's like I kind of want to apologize because it's bad lighting, but yet I don't want to apologize because I'm glad the sun is shining. So these are the pages that I haven't done anything with yet because I'm not going to need them yet. But in these two bags are a ton of things that I'll be able to use with journals. And a lot of them, will be for backgrounds. A lot of these nice, vibrant colors, I'll be able to do like some mixed media with them. Bring the camera down just a little. There we go. Some will be nice for tags. These are the bigger ones here that I kind of just left big so that I can collage with them or whatever. That'll be for my son's journal, the doe with the fawn. These are just some bird ones. I kept some text ones in case one of those. This sloth is for Christy Biddleston. I'll send that to her. I don't know if it's her or Alley Cat that likes the sloths, but I know she said something about them. So just a nice variety of nature pictures. Thought that'd be a cool background. I have a bunch of stuff that I need to get from my crazy auction lady. She's been super busy as well, and so we haven't connected yet with that sunflower. So I'll be having some things to show you from her. I got a lot of cool old bottles from her that I'm going to do some things with. Okay, we're back to the beginning of that. So those are the bigger images. My poor house. I have not been home long enough to do anything except sleep for weeks. That it is just a hot mess. I thought this would be a cool fairy picture. You know, to add some fairy images to that. And then there's just a ton of cutouts and stuff in here for making ephemera. And it was funny because my mom, she was sitting, the room was really nice. It had a sofa that made into a bed, not that we made it into a bed, but, and it had a recliner, it had a table and chairs. So it was really set up like a, almost like a studio apartment, actually. And it had bird feeders outside, and there were deer that came through the woods. And it was just really, really a nice place. Like, I got some bird images, lots of nature type stuff. Got some farm journal stuff. I thought that would be neat with like a little fairy in it too. But anyway, excuse me, as I started to say, my mom was sitting at the table watching me fussy cutting all this stuff out, and we were talking about like what I would use it for and stuff, because she doesn't do crafting. I think I might have shown her one of my journals, so she kind of gets what it's about, but she hasn't like seen me make anything. And so I was just telling her, you know, some of the stuff that we do with these things. So I'm not going to show you each piece. I mean, that would be boring. Cow. But anyway, so yeah, I was just spending a lot of time cutting things out. Every now and then I'd have to jump up and go, you know, reposition my dad, or, you know, whatever he needed. I'm thankful that I had the time to be able to help take care of him. I really feel like that's a gift that I was given. Even when he was in the hospital for that week, he was in the hospital for a week. He came home for a week. And then the next week he was in the hospice. But anyway, when he was in the hospital, it was actually me he was asking for when he needed something, because by that point he was more comfortable with me taking care of him, taking him to the bathroom. He's a very proud man. So, you know, having to have someone take him was hard enough, but he had gotten over, you know, the initial embarrassment or whatever of your daughter doing it, to where he wanted me to do it. So that was a gift to me, and I'm grateful to have had that. Look at this bird. Isn't that pretty? I love the coloring in that. It's got like a green tone to it. So anyway, at least I was able to do this stuff, and this was, you know, relaxing for me, and it gave me something to focus my mind on. And I even had a peacock in there. You guys know I like peacocks. I got some things for my son's journal. If you guys don't know by now, he's an avid hunter, and likes that kind of stuff, so I'll be putting that in a journal for him. But so anyway, and then there's these ones that I thought would be really nice for tags. They're some of the longer cutouts. And I have containers for these things. I just didn't want to take a bunch of stuff with me. So that's why I use those bags. But like these, I think these will make really nice additions to some of the bigger tags, you know, to collage with and stuff. So there's quite a few of those. So those will be fun to play with. I still have a Christmas journal that I need to finish. I'm not going to finish the one that I was working on to sell. I'll do that next year probably. But I have a little golden book that someone had asked me to make. So I still need to get that done. I'm really ready to be done with Christmas, but since they had asked me to make it, I have to finish that one. But anyway, so in cutting all that stuff out, I'm ready to start talking about spring, you know. Here's a couple other things that are going to be going Christy's way. It's not really my thing, but I think she would like them. So I'll send those to her as well. These came from a D-stash that I got from Donna Little. She had gotten, she got a lot of stuff. If you watch her video from her, I think it's her partner's mother might have passed away. And so she had a lot of craft supplies. And so Donna is helping her husband get rid of some of the things that she had. So let's start with this stuff first. These are some charms. And these were two separate purchases from Donna. And of course, you know, I will link her channel below. So first of all, we've got this really pretty, like a flower under glass kind of pendant. And this, did I even realize, you know what? I don't think I even looked at the other side of this to realize that was a peacock. How cool is that? I think I just looked at this side. I haven't really like thoroughly looked through this stuff. I just kind of quickly glanced through it, but look at that. Of course, you guys know that'll go on my peacock journal I'm going to make. Stealing Rosemary Morse's idea of doing a peacock journal. And then there's this vintage sentiment. It says, remember this. And of course, I think you can put a picture in there. Not sure. There's a little snake. The other cool thing, this is going to go on one of my journals that I'm working on now. It's my secret journal that I can't tell you guys what it is yet, but I will show everything once I get it done for the person. But anyway, my nephew, who lives in Minnesota, he came and stayed with my mom for 4 days. And so I got to spend, I'm not sure if I'm going to keep this one yet or not. But so anyway, I got to spend all that time with him because he was at the home with my mom all day long. And actually, he was helping me. Like if we needed to position my dad in the bed or whatever, he would help me move him. And I don't know if I just lost some stuff off the table. He was running errands and fixing food. And his mom sent a bunch of food for us to have. There was a mini fridge and microwave in the room, and she sent shepherd's pie and chicken and noodles and potato soup, rolls, fudge, cookies, a big container of really yummy chocolates. Just amazing. And that is my brother's ex-wife who did all that. As far as I'm concerned, she's still my sister. But anyway, that was really nice of her to do that. But anyway, he was, you know, making sure my mom had coffee, and just a really good young man. He's like in his early 30s. I didn't really get to see him a lot growing up because his parents were divorced. My brother and his wife were divorced. And so, you know, he only had weekend visits, and it wasn't all the time. I don't know. It seems like there was things going on where he didn't always have him or whatever. He didn't really fight to have him a lot. So we didn't get to see him that often. I especially didn't get to see him that often, but it was nice to have that time to get to know him as an adult. You know, he has been out in Minnesota for 4 years. He is a physicist at Mayo Clinic. He is part of the team that decides how to treat cancer. He decides what is the best way to position the machines to do the least amount of damage to the good tissues. So yeah, he's got a pretty cool, prestigious job. But anyway, it was just really nice to have that time with him. I really enjoyed him being there. I was sad when he was leaving. It was nice to have his help too. And both he and my daughter play guitar. So my daughter, one night she had come up and she was visiting with him, and they were talking about guitar stuff, and he had picks in his car, and he gave her a few guitar picks. So I thought that was kind of cool for him to do that. It's backwards, I guess. Anyway, this little dragonfly with beads. Isn't that pretty? Yeah, so I guess that's it. My dad was really, aren't these beads pretty? Gosh, those are gorgeous. My dad's a really private person, and so is my mom. So, you know, that's why I'm only telling bits and pieces about this. I mean, I probably shouldn't even be talking about it, period. But I know you guys care, and, you know, so I'll tell you what I can. But he only had people come that he wanted to come visit. So there wasn't a lot of people there. So that was kind of nice. He's just not the kind of person that wants people coming and looking at him, crying over him and all that kind of stuff. You know, there's people that he thinks highly of and that were, you know, an important part of his life. And those are the people he wanted there. And sorry, but the other people, you know, they were told not to come. And there's not going to be a funeral. Neither one of my parents are going to have funerals. And I'm honestly thinking I'm probably not going to either. I agree with my parents that, you know, you have people that want to spend time with you and who know you during your life. And that's the people that will be around you when you go, you know, the ones that are in your life at that point. The ones who were in your life before but aren't anymore or aren't a very big part of it, they can remember you how they knew you, you know. Why would you want them to come see you when you're sickly and, you know, looking terrible and go through that, you know? I mean, I know people like to say goodbye and all that, whatever. Not trying to be cold or anything like that, but I just kind of feel the same way that my parents do, that, you know, when it comes that time, there's certain people you want and and that's all the people you want, I guess. So I am kind of leaning towards doing the same thing. These are some charms that were, well, some are charms, some are kind of beads, like specialty beads. But I had spent so much time, you know, hanging out with my mom and taking care of my dad that, you know, now I've got to get back into the routine of my life. And, which my life needs me to get back to my routine. That is for sure. It's a little dog bead. Isn't it cute? So I thought I would do a video today and just let you guys know I'm still here and what's been going on. And hopefully soon I'll be able to get back into crafting. But I've got to take care of my house first. I've got a ton of laundry I need to get done. And definitely got some cleaning. Because if you remember, I had started to reorganize my basement and my craft space upstairs. And I had to stop right in the middle of all that. And it's just kind of been sitting. So I've got mess everywhere. Plus, I'm still working. I worked a couple days last week. I could have worked more, but I was needed more with my dad than working. So later in the week, I worked a couple days. And it was a nice break to leave the hospice room and, you know, have other people to talk to and, you know, see the kids and, you know, all that kind of thing. Anybody who's gone through this knows that, you know, if you have another kind of distraction, even for a little bit, it's helpful. But then there was also a part of me that wanted to be there, you know, especially since I did a lot of his care. So, whoopsie. These are pretty. Lots of sparkly, pretty stuff in here. You guys know I like my sparkle. These are little tiny beads. Really pretty. And I can't even tell you guys how much this stuff was. I don't remember. I also had got some lace from Donna. It was a day that, you know, I was feeling kind of sad about. I was more sad during the time that I was taking care of my dad at their house because of seeing the difference in how he was, and for me to see him so weak and, you know, a little confused and stuff, that bothered me more than anything. And I think, you know, I had enough time to process things through that time and know what was coming. I knew before we got the news that he was dying. I've known he was dying for about a month. I wasn't sure, but in my heart, I knew. And so it wasn't a shock when I found out he had another cancer. And it wasn't a shock when I found out, you know, that it was a aggressive, fast-moving kind of cancer. And actually, if he's got to have it, I would rather it be fast-moving. These are a little pretty purple. And we were all with him when he breathed his last breath. My mom and my brother and I. So we were glad for that. We didn't want him to be, I mean, of course he's not alone because God was with him, but, you know, we just kind of wanted to be there with him too. Let's have some little hearts on them. So that's all I'm going to say about that. I probably said more than I should have, but these are like some little stones. Those are really pretty. It's all different colors in there. But I don't want you guys to worry about me. I'm okay. I'm not, of course I'm grieving, but I'm grieving in a peaceful, accepting kind of way because I know I'll see him again. I know he's in a better place. And I just look at it like he has gone on to a new adventure. And he no longer is tied to this earth in a body that causes him nothing but pain. He was having pain even before this. I mean, the cancer that he got wasn't what was causing him the pain. It was his back and the problems he had from previous cancer. And he has lived with that pain for 10 years. So I'm just glad he's not in pain anymore. So no worries, people. I am doing fine. Prayers are always appreciated, especially for my mother. Bunch of pretty little shiny beads. These little stones. These are like, remind me of the little tiger eyes. And then there was a bag of charms. These all came in this little container. I can get them open. Tomorrow is my mother's birthday. My dad was 78. He made it to his birthday, which was in January. And my mother will be 78 tomorrow. I don't imagine we'll do much for her birthday. She's not really ready, of course, to be out and doing things, but I'll still go out to the house, and I'm still taking care of the chores and stuff, so I'll do that. This says this, I'm seeing the change is what it says. It's like a little locket on a lobster claw. There's a lot of pet related stuff in here. Love my dog. So I don't know what I'll do with that at this point, but, and like these skulls and stuff, I don't use skulls. These teeth, I don't use those kind of things. But, you know, they can work in Happy Mail. There's another one of teeth, although they probably could be used in steampunk though, couldn't they? Lots of turtles in here. She must have liked turtles or had a turtle project in mind or something. I hope I'm not, I know I'm talking kind of soft. I hope you guys can hear me. A little jack-o'-lantern. Little teddy bear. Sand dollar. Christmas tree. Another turtle. Starfish. Definitely a lot of beachy theme here. It's kind of funny. It's like a shark with his teeth on a hinge. But this is like the nose and the eyes. It's like he's pointing upwards. Little heart that says love. My mom and I were joking last night. We're like, man, 2020 has been a sucky year so far. It needs to start getting better pretty darn quick. A couple little fairies in here. Those will be nice to put on a fairy journal. A few more turtles. It's a turtle earring. What is this? Poodle. It's a little gold poodle. Here's a bone. A cross. A key. A shell. A pearl. Peace sign. A wreath. And a tree. A heart with a paw. Another paw. And a little elephant. So those are all the charms. So that's everything that I got in that box. Not that I really needed any more of this stuff. I think I was just doing a little retail therapy is what I was doing when I ordered this. Same thing with the lace. I got a couple bags of lace. I was having a particularly kind of sad day that day, and I just love Donna's lace. So when I saw that video come across, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to get some lace. So I will still be busy doing things for my mom, and she doesn't really drive, and she probably shouldn't be driving. So I will be helping her out with things, and you know, just, I told her, you know, even if you're lonely and you want someone to come visit or whatever, I said, just call me and I'll come out, and, you know, we'll either do something or we'll just sit around the house and visit or whatever, you know, whatever she needs right now is where I'm at. So not sure what we'll be doing with the crafting, but eventually I'll get back to it. I did start putting, I just cut these out of cardboard. I didn't do anything fancy, but I have still been trying to get my trims and stuff organized. I've knocked a bunch of them off on the floor, so I'll have to get those picked up. But yeah, that's everything I've been doing, you guys. Not a whole lot, and not a whole lot of interesting either, but hopefully I'll be getting back to my craft with me's, and you know, I've been saying this for a month now because, you know, when I was helping out with my dad, I kept saying, oh, I gotta get back to doing my craft with me's and, you know, get back to doing the more quality type videos, but it hasn't happened yet. But just stick with me, you guys. We will get back to some regular kind of programming here. So anyway, I hope you all are having a fabulous day, and I will see you next time. Take care. God bless. Bye-bye.